Hello, everybody. Good evening and welcome. Family, friends, faculty, and most importantly, class of 2026. As superintendent, it is my absolute honor to welcome you all to this year's commencement ceremony. And unfortunately, the rain put us inside here, but I think this is looking pretty good. Tonight, we gather not to just to hand out diplomas, but to really celebrate a massive milestone. And to our graduates, I just want to say, look around this room. Every person here is in your corner. Their parents, guardians, teachers, mentors who've cheered you on, stayed up late helping with homework, and they believed in you even when you weren't very sure of yourself. So please give them a round of applause too. And I also want to say thank you for your hard work, your leadership, and the legacy that you leave behind. We've had some social media posts this week and last week about some of the legacy, and you're a part of that now, and we really appreciate it, and you should be very proud of yourselves. Now we can let the ceremony begin. Congratulations, graduates. If you're able, please stand and join in the Pledge of Allegiance. My right over here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It's now my pleasure to introduce the salutatorian for the class of 2026, Harley Schultz.
Good evening, family, friends, teachers, staff, and most importantly, the graduating class of 2026. On behalf of my class and myself, I want to thank you all for being here to support us today. Most of you probably already know who I am, but if not, my name is Harley Schultz, and I'm honored to stand before you today as salutatorian of this graduating class. I think I would describe this moment and graduation as a whole as bittersweet. As freshmen, you always hear the upperclassmen talk about how fast it goes by and how you should savor every minute. But
There we go.
anyway, okay. As freshmen, you always hear the upperclassmen talk about how fast it goes by and how you should savor every minute. But that's really hard to believe when all 4 of those years are still looming ahead of you. From the start of freshman year, throughout the rest of high school, people are constantly asking, well, what do you want to do after school? Who do you want to be? Some of us had a rough idea of what we wanted our futures to look like. I'll be the first to admit, I did not. My answer was always something along the lines of, I don't know, but I've got plenty of time to figure it out. And then, all of a sudden, I didn't. And as much as it pains me to admit it, those upperclassmen were right. All the time that we think we have flies by, and many of us forget to appreciate what we have while we have it. I know for a fact that in the future, there will be times when life is difficult, and I'll miss these days. I'll miss the homework I constantly complained about. I'll miss the study sessions my friends and I had that never really included much studying. And I'll miss all the community-oriented events that I participated in over the years. But most of all, I'll miss the people I grew up with. As we sit here together as a class, one last time, I hope we can take a second to appreciate just how important these years have been. And even though this chapter of our lives is coming to an end, the memories, friendships, and experiences we shared, in and out of school, will stay with us forever. So, to the class of 2026, thank you for the laughter, the memories, and the years we spent growing up together. And to all the underclassmen that can't wait to graduate, I get it, I felt the same way. But just remember that life is more than a to-do list, and while you're planning your future, don't forget to live in the present. Thank you.
Great job, Harley. Thank you. Well, it's time for me to talk again. So, graduates, as I look at you all tonight, I'm just struck by a simple truth, and it's very powerful. You're really not the same people you are when you walk through those doors 4 years ago. So think back to when you were a freshman. You were probably a little nervous, maybe a little overwhelmed, trying to kind of figure it all out. Now I'm taking high school classes, kind of a big deal. And kind of like Hartley alluded to, your future was something that was kind of far off and in the distance. It was this hazy concept, right? I'll deal with that later. Well, later has arrived, so here we are. And standing on the edge of tomorrow, as they say, can be kind of scary. And it's incredibly easy to feel a little intimidated. We live in a time of rapid change. Things are happening, and your future maybe feels less like a straight highway and more like a winding and unpredictable road. And I really want to tell you that, and it's a little secret that your teachers, your parents, and I have learned over the years, no one has it all figured out. We really don't. So the secret to success is not having a perfect, flawless map for your life. It's to have the courage to take that first step anyway. And during your time here, you haven't just memorized facts or prepped for tests, you've been building a foundation. So every time you failed a quiz, you studied harder for the next one. Every time you lost a game, you showed up for practice the next day. And every time you had a tough conversation or supported a classmate who was going through something, having a bad day, you added a brick to that foundation. You've been building resilience. You built character. And those really are tools that nobody is ever going to be able to take away from you. So, before we prepare to turn those tassels, I want to kind of leave you with 3 little challenges. First, define success on your own terms. So success isn't a one-size-fits-all formula. It's not about a job title or a paycheck. It's really about finding what lights a fire in your soul and using that passion to make the world a little better, a little kinder, and a little brighter. And second, and I'm partial to this one, never stop learning. So even though graduation tonight marks the end of your high school career, it shouldn't mark the end of your education. And that doesn't have to be formal education, but as you continue on in your life, really be curious about the world. Listen to people who think differently than you, ask questions, and try to learn. The moment you think you know it all, that's when you really stop growing. And the last one, call your mom and dad, or whoever supported you. So seriously, as you venture out into the world, just remember who helped you get here. So gratitude will really help keep you grounded. When things are going well and when things are going tough. So make sure to keep in touch. I know some of the staff, and this is my first year here, but when former graduates come by, they always kind of lights them up. So it's always nice too to pop by the school if you're back in town. Class of 2026, the world doesn't expect you to be perfect, it expects you to be present. It expects you to show up, to try, to fail, and get back up and keep moving forward. We are all incredibly proud of the resilient, compassionate, and brilliant leaders you've become. As you leave here tonight, step out in the world with your heads held high, be bold, be kind, and go make us proud. Thank you very much, and congratulations. It's now my privilege to introduce our valedictorian, a young woman who's accomplished so much in her time here in high school. And she was actually the first student I met when I started here. So please help me welcome Reese Jackson.
Welcome everyone, and thank you all for being here today to support our class. Most of you helped us get to where we are today. Our parents, grandparents, teachers, coaches, and community have supported us through every success and even failure. In a class of 22 people, we have come to know each other pretty well. We grew up together, we have worked alongside each other, rode the same buses, sat in the same classrooms, and somehow survived everything along the way. In a bigger school, people might graduate knowing only a handful of classmates. But here, we know pretty much everything about each other. We have definitely learned how to fight like siblings, but we have also learned to forgive like family. What makes our class special isn't just what we accomplished, it's the kind of people we became. And maybe even the fact that most of us stopped showing up to school. Some of us were teammates, best friends, and even coworkers. Whether it was on the field, in the shop, at practice, at work after school, or studying late at night, we learned that success doesn't come easy. Even though we're all heading in different directions after tonight, this town will always stay with us. No matter where life takes us, whether it's college, the workforce, the military, or somewhere unexpected, we'll always remember the little moments. Our class trip, putting holes in the wall, the Norman birthday parties, homecoming, and winning conference titles. Graduating feels like an ending, but I think it's really a beginning. We're stepping into a world that's uncertain, but we know how to work hard, adjust to changes, and take care of the people around us. Success won't just be measured by money or awards, it'll be measured by the kind of people we are when nobody's watching, by how we treat others, by whether we keep getting back up after being pushed down, and by whether we continue to chase goals that scare us a little. Tonight, we celebrate everything we've accomplished so far, but tomorrow we begin writing the next chapter. To the class of 2026, congrats to us.
Good evening, graduates, families, staff, school board members, and community members. I am Principal Cheryl Johnson, and tonight we gather to celebrate a remarkable group of students, the class of 2026. In a small town, graduation feels a lot different. In bigger places, students blend into the crowd, but here, people know your name. They know your parents, your grandparents, your little brothers and sisters. They watched you grow up at football games, concert, church events, local stores, and of course, carnival. They've celebrated your successes and supported you through your challenges. That is the gift of a small town. You were raised in a community where people wave when they drive by, where neighbors show up when someone is hurting, and where hard work still matters. These values may seem ordinary to you now, but someday you will realize how uncommon and how valuable they truly are. As I look at this class, I see students who have balanced schoolwork with jobs, athletics, music, farming, family responsibilities, and countless other commitments. I see resilience. I see kindness. I see young adults who understand the importance of helping others, because many of you were raised in homes and in a community where helping others is simply what you do. You are leaving this school at a time when the world often feels divided, fast-paced, and uncertain. But I believe this class is prepared for that world because you understand something important. Success is not only about talent, it is about character. Character is showing up even when it's hard. Character is treating people with respect. It's doing the right thing when nobody is watching. Learning from failure instead of being defeated by it. Those lessons are not only learned in classrooms, they are learned in locker rooms, on stages, in fields, in shops, during long practices, difficult conversations, and moments when you had to keep going, even though you really wanted to quit. Tonight you close one chapter of your life and begin another. Some of you will head to college. Some will enter the workforce. Some are entering the military. Some may still be figuring out your path, and that's okay. Life is not a race to see who has everything figured out first. No matter where life takes you, remember where you came from. Remember the teachers who believed in you, the families who sacrificed for you, the classmates sitting beside you tonight who shared those years with you, and remember this community that will always be proud to call you one of its own. As you move forward, I encourage you to stay curious. There will be moments ahead when life does not go according to plan. You will face setbacks and disappointments. Everyone does. But resilience is not about never failing. It's about getting back up, learning, and continuing forward. And if someday life takes you far from Swanville, I hope you carry a little piece of it with you. The work ethic, the humility, the sense of community, and the understanding that no one succeeds alone. Class of 2026, you have already made your school and community proud. Your story is just beginning, and I cannot wait to see where your journeys lead. On behalf of the entire school district, congratulations to each and every one of you. Wherever life takes you, never forget, once a member of Swanville, always a member of Swanville. Congratulations, class of 2026. And now on to the fun part, celebrating some awards and scholarships. I would first like to call forward Aaron Gopinski, our activities director, who will be handing out the athletes of the year.
Hello, I'm Aaron Pinsky, Activities Director at Swanville High School. Congratulations, senior class of 2026, the 106th graduating class in Swanville. I'm here to present the Joseph Olden Female Athlete of the Year Award and the Gerald Koenig Male Athlete of the Year Award. This honor is awarded to the senior who has gone through their high school career, accomplishing great feats on the playing fields and courts. Our recipients have maintained a positive and clean record in school and with Minnesota State High School League. The Joseph Olden Female Athlete of the Year has participated in volleyball, basketball, and softball. She has earned numerous team, school, conference, and area awards in all three sports. She helped lead the volleyball, basketball, and softball teams to conference titles her senior year and helped lead the team to 6 conference titles in her school career. She has had numerous individual milestones as well in all 3 sports. The Gerald Koenig Male Athlete of the Year has participated in football and basketball. He has earned team, school, conference, and district awards in both sports. He was academic all-district in football and was also named to the all-section team for football and helped guide the team to the state tournament the last 2 seasons. He was selected to play in the all-state game for football as well, and he was an academic all-state in basketball. It is my honor to announce the Joseph Olden Female Athlete of the Year and the Gerald Koenig Male Athlete of the Year to Avery Douglas and Brody Kircher.
Thank you, Mr. Kopinski. And now to celebrate the list of accomplishments, I would like to share scholarships that were announced earlier this week at Awards Day. Graduates, if you would please stand and be recognized as I call off your name. The Connor Trainer and Jared Linedecker Vocational Scholarship in the amount of $1,000 each went to Ethan Bartell and Cody Check. The Connor Trainer Memorial Scholarship presented by the Swanville Sportsman's Club in the amount of $1,000 was awarded to Brody Kircher. Cody Check received the Gene Haas Scholarship, $2,500 each year, renewable for 2 years, total of $5,000. Cody also earned the Lakes Area Manufacturing Alliance Scholarship for $1,000. Levi Bagenstos comes in with the big Midwest Machinery Company 2 years of schooling plus tool allowance in the total of $17,500. Red Cross scholarships were given to Laura Bagenstos in the amount of $800, Reese Jackson $800, Corinne Noterman $800, and Warner Payan Clemish $100. The Sobieski Lions Scholarship went to Cody Check and Reese Jackson for $500 each. The SFM Scholarship in the amount of $6,500 each year, renewable for 2 years, for a total of $13,000 went to Frank Mahar. Sourcewell Student of Character Scholarships in the amount of $750 each were awarded to Laura Bagenstos and Christopher Harrison. Brody Kircher was recognized by the SciTech Scholarship in the amount of $500. We also have college scholarships. Avery Douglas, who will be attending Northern State University, received the Northern State Volleyball Scholarship for $3,000 and the Wolfpack Scholarship for $4,000. Reese Jackson is headed off to Minnesota North College in Itasca and receives the Elsie Mae Lukens Memorial Scholarship for $5,000. Brody Kircher, who's heading to the University of Minnesota Morris Achievement Scholarship for $2,000 and Make a Difference Scholarship $1,000. Harley Schultz, who is going to the University of Mary, gets the Sister Thomas Welder Scholarship for $10,000. At this point, I would like to call forward Dollars for Scholars President Teresa Giese and also Michelle Hutchins and Dana Gallus to the stage to present the Dollars for Scholars scholarships.
Good evening, Swanville, and congratulations, graduates. My name is Teresa Giese, the Swanville Dollars for Scholars President. Helping me tonight is Dana Gallus, our Dollars for Scholars Scholarship Chair, and Michelle Hutchins, a longtime ambassador. Collectively, the Dollars for Scholars has over 20 board members and ambassadors working hard to raise money for this year's Swanville graduates and for generations to come. The graduating class of 2026 represents the 39th year of scholarships being awarded, and we are proud to say that every student who has ever applied has been awarded a scholarship over those years. When Dr. Irving founded the Dollars for Scholars across America in 1958, he believed passionately that any community, no matter how big or small, could work toward a brighter future if it believed in its young people and supported their dreams. While Swanville is small, our impact has been extraordinary. I'm happy to be here tonight on behalf of our organization presenting this incredible class of graduates $114,500. The Dollars for Scholars has continued to grow because of the incredible community that we live in. I'm amazed daily at what a small town with the biggest heart can do. The way we raise funds has changed over the decades. Today they are raised through tailgating at football games, calendar sales, poinsettia sales, charitable gambling at 3 places, including the Hub Supper Club, Golden Eagle, and the Bertram Caboose, investments of our perpetual funds, matching scholarship program. The matching scholarship program allows donors to annually donate $250, then the Dollars for Scholars matches it, awarding a scholarship in the donor's name of $500. All of our awarded scholarships are $500 in value except for one. The Swanville Lions gave a large endowment over 30 years ago, and today we award the top scoring student $1,000 in the name of the Swanville Lions. The funds awarded tonight to the graduating class of 2026 will all go to the class of 2026. Each student going to college in the fall will receive half of their funds. After their first semester, they will turn in their grades and for the second semester, receive the second half of the funds. If a student waits to go to college, we'll hold their funds for a year. If they go to the military, we'll hold them for even longer. And if a student chooses a different path than what they're on right now, any funds not used will be reallocated to the students in their second year. So the goal is to ensure all donor and Dollars for Scholars funds stay with this class to support the class. Without further ado, I'd love to begin awarding. We have a big stack there. I'm going to read a student's name, and as they walk up their list of scholarships, we save the applause until I've finished with the student and said their total. All right. First up is Laura. She's receiving scholarships from In Memory of Beth Swisher, In Memory of Jessa Gamble, Novakuski Family, Sandra Logan Memorial Scholarship, and the Swanville Dollars for Scholars, a grand total of $4,500. Levi is receiving scholarships from the class of 1971, Dave and Karen Van Heel, Sean Van Heel, Stub Nelson Memorial, and the Swanville Dollars for Scholars for a grand total of $4,500. Ethan Bartell is receiving scholarships from Bill and Shannon Johnson, Farmers and Merchants State Bank, Frank and Helen Gessel, Roxanne Thompson, Swanville Athletic Boosters, Swanville Co-op Creamery, Swanville Insurance, and Swanville Dollars for Scholars for a grand total of $6,000. Abby Bernadotte is receiving the class of 1971, David Olson Memorial Scholarship, in memory of John Thompson, Camp's Corner, M&M Turkey, and the Swanville Dollars for Scholars for a grand total of $5,000. Madeline is receiving the class of 1971, class of 2023, Dale and Barb White, Lowell Drager in memory of Mabel Drager, M&M Turkey, and the Swanville Dollars for Scholars for a grand total of $5,000. Jordan is receiving scholarships from the class of 1971, M&M Turkey, Ryan and Brittany Johnson, the Connor Strong Scholarship, and the Swanville Dollars for Scholars for a grand total of $4,000. Cody is receiving scholarships from Anonymous, Crystal Goodell Greco, Farmers and Merchants State Bank, Frank and Helen Gessel, in memory of John Borgert, Sandy Loban Education Scholarship, Sean Van Hill, and the Swanville Dollars for Scholars, a grand total of $6,000. Avery is receiving scholarships from the Don Gessel Memorial Scholarship, Swanville Athletic Boosters, Swanville Women's Club, Dale and Barb Wake, M&M Turkey, Swanville Insurance, and Swanville Dollars for Scholars for a grand total of $5,500. Josh is receiving scholarships from in memory of Jean Steffen, in memory of Joseph Oven, Lowell Drager in memory of Matthew Walter, M&M Turkey, Swanville Co-op Creamery with Lando Lakes, and Swanville Dollars for Scholars, a grand total of $5,000. Christopher is receiving scholarships from in memory of Joseph Oven, Joy Thompson McAdoo in memory of John Thompson, Lowell Drager in memory of SFC Paul Ray Smith, Nelson's Hardware and RV, and the Swanville Dollars for Scholars, a grand total of $4,500. Reese is receiving funds from Colette Wilkins Memorial Scholarship, Don Gessel Memorial Scholarship, Ethan Ox Scholarship, Frank and Helen Gessel, Joy Thompson McAdoo, Sean Van Hill, Swanville Athletic Boosters, Tanya and John Loban, Tony and Teresa Geezy family, and the Swanville Dollars for Scholars for a grand total of $6,000. Reese was also the top student receiving additional $1,000 from the Swanville Lions Club for a total of $7,000. Alex is receiving funds from David Olson Memorial Scholarship, Lyle and Jane Gessel, M&M Turkey, Swanville Co-op Creamery, the Connor Strong Scholarship, and the Swanville Dollars for Scholars for a grand total of $5,000. Brody's receiving funds from Anonymous, Ethan Ox Scholarship, Frank and Helen Gessel, in memory of Pete Kirker, Sean Van Heel, Swanville Co-op Creamery in memory of Pete Kirker, the Devin and Zachary Memorial Scholarship, and Swanville Dollars for Scholars, a grand total of $6,000. Frankie's receiving scholarships from Dave and Karen Van Heel, Frank and Helen Gessel, Jean and Debbie Harthon, in memory of John Borgert, in memory of Pete Kirker, in memory of Sonny Peterson, Sean Van Heel, and Swanville Dollars for Scholars, a grand total of $6,000. Abraham's receiving Anonymous, Class of 2013, Dale and Barb Wake, Luxor Camp Turkey Farms, M&M Turkey, MGM Turkey Farms, and the Swanville Dollars for Scholars, a grand total of $5,500. Alexander is receiving scholarships from Anonymous, Dale and Barb Wake, in memory of Dan Slimmer, Luxor Camp Turkey Farms, M&M Turkey, MGM Turkey Farms, and the Swanville Dollars for Scholars, a grand total of $5,500. Corrine is receiving scholarships from Albert and Ardith Nelson, Dale and Barb Wake, Herbert and Gladys Thompson, in memory of J.T. Schaefer, M&M Turkey, Swanville Insurance, and Swanville Dollars for Scholars, a grand total of $5,500. Warner is receiving scholarships from Bill and Shannon Johnson, the Class of 1971, Lowell Drager in memory of Eric Douglas Kipka, the Stubb Nelson Memorial, and Swanville Dollars for Scholars, a grand total of $4,500. Tori is receiving scholarships from in memory of Joseph Oben, Camp's Corner, Nielsen's Hardware and RV, the Swanville Women's Club, and the Swanville Dollars for Scholars, a grand total of $4,500. Maya is receiving scholarships from Alan Corky Cornell Memorial Scholarship, Joseph and Gladys Oben Memorial Scholarship, M&M Turkey, Nelson Insurance Agency, the Novakuski family, and the Swanville Dollars for Scholars, a grand total of $5,000. Harley's receiving scholarships from the Dennis Kopinski Memorial, Elmer and Monica Van Heel Memorial Scholarship, in memory of J.T. Schaefer, in memory of Rich Allard and Janet Bergery, in memory of Tom Biesman, Jacob Todd and Eleanor Ann Memorial Scholarship, Lloyd and June Biesman Memorial Scholarship, Sean Van Heel, Steve and Jean T. Schaefer, and the Swanville Dollars for Scholars, a grand total of $5,000. Justin is receiving scholarships from Albert and Ardith Nelson, in memory of Joseph Oben, in memory of Pete Kirker, the Swanville Co-op Creamery with Lando Lakes, Waters Edge Electric, and the Swanville Dollars for Scholars for a grand total of $5,000. Mike Nyland, the president of Dollars for Scholarship America, shared in a letter to our chapter last year after we celebrated our $1 million. It's a tribute to the incredible dedication and generosity of this community. And it is a celebration of the generations of students whose hopes, dreams, and futures have been fueled by that generosity. Our community is incredible. Without the support of everyone, there's no way we'd be able to award this money to our fantastic class. With tonight's scholarships, the Dollars for Scholars has awarded over $1.2 million over the last 30 years. Finally, just a bit of housekeeping. One of the Dollars for Scholars founders, when asked what his favorite memory about Dollars for Scholars is he indicated it is the thank you cards he receives from the students. So with that in mind, please take these instructions seriously, kids. In your packet that was behind your scholarships, there'll be labels on there with some certificate or instructions of what you need to do. There's a couple steps you have to do to make sure that you accept the money that we're giving you. And then there's also, you'll find cards in there with addresses on for the donors of your scholarships and for the Dollars for Scholars. So many people worked hard to see this happen, so please take a few moments and send a thank you to them. Again, congratulations, and we wish you well in the future.
Thank you, ladies. Seniors, it is now time for you to pass out your flowers to your families. Graduates, please now, please stand. The awarding of diplomas time is 5 minutes. Laura Jean Bagenstos. Levi James Bagenstos. Ethan James Bartell. Abigail Lynn Bernada. Madeline Leanne Buchanan. Jordan Patrick Crandall. Cody Ronald Check. Avery Joe Douglas. Joshua Kenneth Hager. Christopher Michael Harrison. Reese Colvin Jackson. Alex James Carnes. Brody Claude Kircher. Frank Clifford Walter Mayar. Abraham John Noterman. Alexander Robert Noterman. Corinne Elizabeth Noterman. Warner James Pahan Clemish. Tori Angel Powell. Maya Lynn Proel. Carly Joe Schultz. Justin Lee Vilna.
Now I'd like to present the class of 2026.